Hi there. If you're receiving this video, it means you're facilitating a session at this year's Learning Forward virtual conference. Learning Forward and KickUp are partnering to collect your traditional post-PD feedback data and provide you with a dynamic report, which will allow you to dig in and make meaning of your data. As you're nearing the final stages of preparing your presentation, we would like to walk you through the process for collecting your session feedback, including interpreting and analyzing that feedback. Your report will be dependent on response rates to be successful. So we have a few tips to help you make the most of your report. First, as you are finishing up your presentation, keep the following in mind. Build time into your session's agenda to collect data. Share the session evaluation 3 to 5 minutes prior to closing out to allow your participants to reflect on the session. One way to fold in the evaluation would be to have participants complete it before you pass out resources or prior to your last wrap-up activity. Second, make sure your session ID is easily accessible by adding in this template slide. Make sure to put in your session ID. This is how we tie feedback to your specific session report. Once you drop in this template to your presentation, all you have to do is insert your session ID. Note, make sure that any letters are capitalized. Finally, make sure you have followed the steps in the email you received from Kristen to access your KickUp account. If you have any questions, please feel free to reply to that email. So, what does the user experience look like? It should be pretty simple. Attendees will be able to access a form through this link, kickup.co/2021LF, or from the conference app. Once you land on the form, participants will be able to provide their feedback by using their email that's attached to their Learning Forward account and typing in their session ID that you will have provided in that templated slide. This process should take them about 3 to 5 minutes. So now that you have your session participants completing the form and you have feedback coming in, you will be able to pop into your KickUp report to view data. If you are logging into KickUp before you have feedback responses, you will see the report that says getting started. After your participants have completed feedback for your session, you will be able to see the virtual conference session evaluation report within 24 hours after submission. I'm now going to show you a report to give you an idea of what your session feedback report will look like. Your report is organized by the tabs you see here at the top. Introduction and highlights is a simple welcome and it has a few key indicators highlighted. On the second tab under session feedback, the first widget you see here is called a heat map, which visualizes the rating questions that were part of your feedback form. On the left side, you have the indicators or questions that were asked of participants. If you look to the columns, the data is currently being grouped by the job category of your participants. The group by field will allow you to group by other attributes. If you hover over each indicator right here, you will be able to see the indicators breakdown and distribution of each of the responses. You can also switch the view from averages to percentages. Under percentages, the distribution, this percentage is showing you the percent of responses that fell in the top 2 tiers. So anyone who responded substantially or sufficiently in this case. So as we keep moving along the tabs, the next tab is the implementation indicators. In this tab, you will find the indicators of perceived impact and perceived indicators of implementation. The heat map here works the exact same way. After the heat map, you will see a multiple choice widget of how participants plan to apply or implement content. This widget allows you to drill in and see what roles are represented under each of these responses. This can be helpful insight for you based on who your target audience was for your session. The last type of questions we asked are open responses. A neat thing about the open responses widget is that you are able to tag responses. Tagging will create a bar chart to quantify any of the themes that you are noticing within those responses. The last tab you will see will just have a list of every single response for your feedback. Thank you for taking the time to go over this quick overview. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the support lines from the email you received. Have a great day.